Good afternoon, one and all. On behalf of Maharashtra Association of Training Placement Officers, I, Dr. Sheetal Vandale, welcome all of you. I am President of Maharashtra's TPO Association. It's a pride for all of us to have such a nice body of training placement officers in Maharashtra, which is working for the enhancement of employability of engineering graduates as well as MBA, MCA, and other graduates. Dear friends, let's see what exactly is Maharashtra Association of TPOs. I request our public relation officer, Professor Sudarshan Sutar sir, to please let us know MA TPO activities through presentation. Sudarshan sir, over to you.
Yes.
So we are family of around 500 plus training placement officers. And then we have started from 2017, almost a couple of years journey. This is the photograph of all training placement officers which were gathered there. We have placed almost 12,000 plus students of Maharashtra in 500 plus recruitment drives in last 2 years. We conduct many industry institute interaction meets also. We conduct TPO development programs. We conduct entrepreneurship meets for the students. We also conduct regional meets. We have conducted MA TPO aptitude idol to improve the aptitude skills of our students, and to our surprise, almost around 43,000 students have registered for this particular event, beginning of that particular year. Then we also conducted stress management event. We conducted almost around 5 big test series for aptitude as well as programming for our students. So dear friends, this was all about Maharashtra Association of Training Placement Officers. Now I welcome Honorable Dr. Abhay Wagh sir, who is the Director of DT Maharashtra, a known personality, and he doesn't really need any introduction. Dear friends, the reason for conducting this particular event, we know what is the situation going on around. There is fear among students, faculty, then colleges, management, even government officials, that what is going to happen post-COVID, what will be the situation. And that's why we requested Honorable Dr. Abhay Wagh sir to guide all our TPOs, principals of various colleges, and all the stakeholders, that what can be the solutions, where this situation will go. So dear friends, as far as current situation is concerned, we have to finalize our priorities. Health or wealth should be our first priority. Our people or balanced economy or economic growth should be our priority. But I think Honorable Prime Minister has said right tone. He said, "Jaan hai to jahan hai." So in current situation, I think we should take care of our jaan first, and that is what our government, state government as well as central government is doing nicely. And let us support them by following all the norms of lockdown as well as other norms. As far as situation is concerned, there are some negative things, but at the same time, there are some positive things also. Even though offline classes are not happening, but yes, students as well as faculty are engaging themselves with online courses, online classes, and there are many opportunities which are coming up with us. As far as students are concerned, dear friends, 2-3 major problems are there, in the sense there are some questions like the students are thinking, even faculty are thinking, what will happen to syllabus, whether it will be completed or not. Students are thinking, what will be the exam situation, whether the exams will be conducted in time or not, whether the same pattern of exam will be followed or there will be some other pattern. There are some students of final year who are already given jobs by different companies, and these students are also eager to know whether my job will be continued or not, whether the companies will be giving delayed offer letters or not. So big situation is there, but dear friends, we should not worry about all this situation because it is creating new opportunities. For example, many companies in China are being shut off by Japanese government, and probably US as well as Europe will follow the suit. And the situation to come out of this situation, especially in context with technical education, I think the right person is Dr. Abhay Waq sir. Honorable Abhay Waq sir, he doesn't really need any introduction in Maharashtra. He is director and he is the head of the apex body DT in Maharashtra. He is PhD in electronics and telecommunication, and he's a scholar. He got gold medalist. He was a gold medalist during his masters. He has huge experience of around 29 years in technical education. And dear friends, he has gone through almost all different roles like teacher, trainer, administrator, policy maker, and whatnot. He has implemented many different innovative projects in technical education, and that's why he is known for. He is an asset to entire technical education ecosystem of Maharashtra. He was also working earlier as a director of MSBT. He was a deputy secretary in Ministry of Higher and Technical Education. He had worked as joint director, deputy director, as well as assistant director in DT. Dear friends, he has worked in World Bank's TechWeb project. He has worked in RUSA Community College project and different activities Maharashtra has seen in his leadership. As far as his achievements are concerned, he has got Maharashtra government's e-Maharashtra award for good e-governance. He has also received gold award of Scotch for implementing 10 innovative projects in government of Maharashtra. He has also received Promising Engineer award. He was also received recipient of Kartavya Daksha Adhikari award, and we are really fortunate to have such personality amongst us. He has guided many PhD students also, and he is a authorized guide for BAMU as well as VJTI, Amravati University, and many other universities. As far as his research papers are concerned, he has published more than 35 research publications in really very reputed organizations. So dear friends, two major things I would like to highlight about him is compulsory internship for diploma students. He is pioneer in that, and he has implemented it for diploma students of Maharashtra. And I think thousands of students have undergone this internship and they are getting the benefits or fruits out of it. Dear friends, as far as need of the current education sector is concerned, industry wants really innovative students, and the students should be really making some relevance, some output. They should give some output to the real world problems of the industry. And for that purpose, he thought that curriculum should be relevant to industry, and that's why I-curriculum or I-scheme was implemented by him. These are really good achievements. So dear friends, let's welcome Abhay Waq sir. Sir, thank you so much for joining this particular interaction session with all TPOs. And this session of post-COVID situation in technical education, we will be really happy to hear your views. So the format of this.
Naturally, you will ask me what is VUCA World, sir. So VUCA World, VUCA is the acronym for VUCA. V, I mean to say volatility, complexity, and A is ambiguity. I mean to say, if you really see these four words, you will really appreciate and you will really fall in my line and saying that, yes, sir, today's situation is of VUCA situation. Because everything is volatile. We don't know what is happening in front of us. It was all total uncertain. Uncertainty is there. What will happen tomorrow, even we don't know. If somebody goes out, something goes wrong with him or her. So this is total uncertain situation in front of us, economically, as well as health-wise also. Complexity is total all over, and ambiguity. Overall, the situation is ambiguity. And hence I said, these four words I have formed the acronym which is called VUCA. So we are all living in a VUCA world, wherein we have unprecedented changes we have noted still now. Whole world is almost stopped. We have seen this. And in this situation, if you ask me what is the answer to this VUCA world. So yes, my friends, there is the answer to the VUCA. Answer to VUCA is that if I have a proper strategic leadership, skill enhancement is continuously with me, and I am an innovative person. If I think innovatively, then definitely this is the answer to VUCA. For a layman, if you ask me what is the answer to VUCA, in a one line I can say, answer to VUCA is the change yourself. See, different disruptions are coming around the back to this particular society, what we observed all over in world. But if we are changing every minute with an innovative thinking, definitely I'm sure that this world can face, and India will surely face, Maharashtra will surely face this situation in a right spirit, and we'll all come with a flying colors out of this. Dear friends, I have defined the VUCA is a world wherein we are finding such unprecedented changes in the overall society as such by and large. But as you ask me in the educational sector, what is happening? So, dear friend, first of all, get it know, all of you must be knowing that the overall situation of VUCA, if you say in an education field as on today, let me tell you, first of all, education system of India, which is the third largest entity of whole world. First is no doubt US, second is China, and third is us. That the India is the third largest education system in world. Yes, why I said it this, because it will prove by some certain figures and statistics I'll put in front of you. As on today, globally, if I take around 200 countries in a world, if you say 25,000 universities are there, and wherein we have 250 million of the students who are really actively enrolled in the system, I will say. As far as US is concerned, there are almost like 4,200 universities wherein 21 million students are actively enrolled. In UK, there are 170 universities with 2.8 million of the students. And India, it's almost like 993 universities, almost like 100 1,000 we can say, with 26.4 million students with a GER of 26.8. We are in the system. And as far as Maharashtra, if I come, then the stake of Maharashtra is again 10% or so, 75 odd universities are there in the state, which are again, I have counted all the private universities and self-financed universities as well in that with the DMG universities. And with a 2.95 million to be exact, to be active enrollment of the students. Why I told this, because this will tell you the statistics overall in a worldwide situation, how education and the India is on number 3. In such a situation, if I see, and if we all are talking about in this particular same digital platforms, you must have heard, there are so many platforms, I'll not name them. One of the platforms, Zoom, we are sitting, WebEx, and so many NPTEL, FOIAM. I mean, so many things nowadays which are available. But anyway, that you people must have completed your courses within this time frame. But my final, the million-dollar question comes here is that whether are we really reaching to the last corner student of the university? That is really important for me. Hello.
Sir, continue, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. You are audible, sir.
So internet usage, digital penetration, if we see, this is number one that I wanted to highlight is that when I am discussing all these figures and statistics with you, we should know, are we really reaching to the last person of this society, a student of the society? This is important for me and you as well as a faculty. So as a digital penetration, if I use a word, it will be a proper word, that whether I'm really serving this all digital platforms, what I want to give the inputs for teaching learning process as such, what we call it as, are we really reaching to that student with a digital penetration? I mean to say, in India, if you see a mobile presentation and penetration as such, then it is 75 to 80%. In a laptop or desktop, if you see, the penetration is around 20% only. That means you see how huge difference is there as far as mobile penetration and a desktop or a laptop penetration is concerned. While a developed countries, if you see, it is more than 75%. So digitally, they are well connected than India. This is well sure, and you all will agree with me. Even internet usage wise, if you see, India today, hardly 40% users are really actively and socially properly using this internet usages. And abroad, if you see, it is more than 80%. So these figures I have kept in front of you with the only question in my mind that no doubt we people, and I appreciate the efforts you people have taken in last month to reach to your students digitally, and teaching learning process you must have completed with digital processes and the systems which platforms which we have available. But I'm sure that we will have to think in future surely whether we are reaching to a last student of the society in your university. This is all about today's education and the today's situation, I mean to say. Ravan Dale.
Hello, I'm Professor
Yeah.
Sanjay Jadhav, Secretary of Maharashtra Teachers Association.
Yeah.
Sir, what will be the future education system after COVID situation?
Okay, this is what I think nowadays people discuss it as the AC and BC. Earlier we used to say, no, in history we used to learn AC and BC. Nowadays it is said to be before Corona and after Corona. Now the new nomenclature has come, that is AC and BC, what I suppose. But that's fine. We'll say it as a post-Corona effect, what will be there and what situation. This is your question. Well taken. But as I just explained you before, that today we are facing a VUCA situation, as I explained you. But I'm sure there is no need to worry at all, no need to be a panic at all, because we are in a VUCA situation. I'm taking this VUCA situation as an opportunity. See, everywhere, wherever there is a negative situation around us, we should take the positiveness from that, and that is the opportunity. If I find the opportunity in that, then that will be really a great help to all society as such by and large. So what is that positivity and what is that opportunity, what I'm looking at that? So if many of the scientists, many of the international scientists also in last 15 days or so, if we go live and if you listen to all the scientists which they came on different media and the interviews, if you hear, they clearly said that can we really have a system which developed, which is a resilient system? Because why they come to a word of resilience system, you know, they are also quoting here that the scientists and senior scientists, what I heard is that there will be certain more disruptions we can expect, more waves we can expect within a next year or so, maybe a 6 months, 8 months down the line, the channel. I don't know, but that may be a more negative to say on that. I will never expect that. But if so, if such thing happens, if these waves, I can say waves or a disruption, I'll use a proper word for that, with this recurrence of this COVID continues, or by this way or by that way, then whether our system will again fall in the same position what we are in today? No, my friends. What I wish is that our system should be foolproof. It should be resilient system. And resilient, I mean, we should be able to come back to our own shape and to start work with the same speed as we were working. That is what I mean by resilient model in the system. So I'm proposing here with a resilient model for Maharashtra at least, wherein post-COVID situation, waves are also coming, some recurrences also are coming, our system will be intact. So what that resilience model will be probably. So for that, I will have to have two parts. One part which will take care of capacity building, and the second part which will take care of the total E part. I mean, E contents, E deliveries, E exams, and E evaluation as such. What is this exactly? I'll let you know. I'll just clear out my thoughts. What I mean to say. I mean to say, e-contents is the first step toward that. If the faculty members are coming together and making really wonderful e-contents today, and if I'm putting it on a cloud or maybe on a pen drive, I'm giving it to student, or maybe on a digital platform, I'm giving it, maybe on a website, I'm keeping it of Directorate Technical Education. No mind what way. But do we have, as on today, the e-contents of every subject ready with us? This is a real challenge with us, my friends. And that is what I mean to say is that the e-contents, see, then the second say may come that, yes, there are some e-contents available digitally. I can say that, yes, NPTEL has some contents, different digital platforms have some contents, Coursera has some contents. I mean, different open source and some paid sources also have some good contents available. Even IIT, NIT professors, they are having with the best contents available with them. But in today's situation of Maharashtra, can we have a source compilation of these all contents which are available already? And besides that, can we benchmark those best contents together, and we can have in coming semester the best contents available, which are quality contents, which are benchmark contents, and which will make to the students available. That will be really a wonderful thing as a first step towards this resilient model. The second step could be, then we'll start about, once e-contents are there with us, then the second step could be e-delivery. I mean to say e-teaching learning processes. And that is what you all did in last month or so. So I'll not speak more on that. And then third step will come if we have e-content, if you have e-delivery, definitely then we can go for the e-exams also as well. And then e-evaluation will be also on the line we can do it. So this e-contents, e-teaching learning processes, that is e-delivery, I mean to say, and then gradually coming down to the e-exams and e-evaluation, we can have a wonderful e-model of that. But simultaneously, we should keep in mind that while all this we are doing digitally, whether our capacity building is supporting us. So in terms of capacity building, when I talk, I mean to say whether the infrastructure supports us, whether the hardware and the servers required for this all teaching learning platform, digital platform supports us, whether the software which is required for all this system supports us and is readily available for all of us. And the important issue is the connectivity, the broadband connectivity, which is to the available to the last corner of my student, which is placed in a last program of the society or the rural place, what I mean to say. Of course, all these smartphones, gadgets are available with the students is again a big question, my friends. So I mean to say, one hand, we have a system of e-contents, e-delivery, e-exams, and what we talk about, e-evaluation. And other aspect I have put in front of you that this all e-part should be properly supported in terms of capacity building. So unless and until we have a proper capacity building in our state, then university should come ahead. Even directorate is ready for that, government is ready for that, and all institution and faculty members should be ready for that. And then if such a model we are posing, which carries both A and B, that capacity building with this E all part, then definitely I expect that it is a wonderful ecosystem we can develop in Maharashtra. And that is, I mean to say, whatever the resilient model is developed in that real sense, I can say in that scenario only. But for that, we will have to work from day one today. That is what I mean to say post-COVID situation, my friend. Thank you, Sanjay ji.
I have a question, sir. My name is Rajesh Jamwal. I'm from Atharva Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai.
Yeah.
Sir, my question is, we were talking about VUCA World.
Yeah.
And over here, since most of us are the TPOs, or many of us are TPOs, and the given condition post-COVID is going to be a new normal, so as to say.
Mm.
So I'd like to understand from you, though we are being, all the TPOs are being innovative in their kind of delivering programs to the students, What do you think should be the strategy to skill students to kind of help them acquire jobs?
Skilling of the students, you mean to say?
Yes, sir. Additional, that is beyond the regular curriculum skilling.
See, I can tell you the day or 2 days before I got one of the link with Tatas, they have come forward and they have given a number of skill courses with a registration of 1 rupee only in this COVID situation. You know, Tatas are anyway supporting highly to the government also. And in the skill platform, so they are very open to work and they are very open to all, stakeholders that they are other enunciating certain programs. And this is one of the programs that I'll share that link you personally also if you want. And so many field programs are available, and with only 1 rupee, students can enroll that, and you can have a wonderful skill program. Sitting at home, you can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, what will be the overall impact of this COVID situation? What do you think, sir? What will be the overall impact?
Oh yeah, this is a real question. I mean, what is the impact of the COVID? Because I think this, so you will also agree, if you have a look around you today, then certain industries have hampered like anything. Totally, I can say negatively hampered industries, negatively affected industries you will see. For example, oil and gas, you saw in between, because there are no vehicles on the road, so oil and gas is totally on a, I can say, in a downshift. There are certain universities, industries, you can say real estate industry today is in a bad shape. Logistics, you will say, is in a negatively affected industry. Logistics, real estate, then even the best, example can be given here, maybe automotive, because all automobiles are on road, not on road now. So automobile industries may be hampered negatively. Retail industries, and major is the travel industry, tourism industry, hospitality industries. I mean, in a nutshell, I can say the job market industry is hampered tremendously, which is, I can say, a negatively hampered or negatively affected industry. But if you see, as an opportunity, as I said, but in this, some industries may flourish. And those industries may be digital platforms, as I discussed, online teaching learning methodologies. Because you must have seen in last 2 months or so, all you people or myself is all, so many meetings we people are conducting on WebEx, so many on Zoom and so many on digital platforms. I think earlier we never be on such a platform more. I don't know how much Zoom must have on this in this typical time frame of 1 month or so. So these digital platforms and digital products will have a tremendous boom. Those industries will be in boom shape, we'll find. Of course, a stock market and insurance and will be also a different area wherein we can work a lot. Healthcare will be definitely a biggest industry wherein we can work a lot in that. Even a pharmacy, if some professors or some principals are there, I can tell them it is really wonderful opportunity to them, because the healthcare industry has a tremendous prospect to work upon. Even the data sciences people and the students, if we can give skills to every civil engineering, mechanical engineering student also, give them the skills of artificial intelligence, IoTs, and data analytics and all. And I'm sure that these steps towards forward skilling towards in this units, what I quoted just now, these industries will surely perform better in the future, what I feel so. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much, sir. Because we know we TPOs face many problems as far as this particular industry is concerned, and maybe this will be a good guideline for all of us. And maybe even IT industries, they are saying that yes, some of their workforce here onwards they will be making online, and maybe some job opportunities in different fields will be created. We have Mr. Faisal Khan with us. He is our joint secretary also. Faisal sir, please.
Yeah, sir. Good afternoon. First of all,
Faisal.
I would like to thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Abhay sir for encouraging us in every moment. And I would like to say everyone, like every principal, every TPO, that because of Abhay sir's support, we were able to conduct the Capgemini drive across Maharashtra. And the result of Capgemini drive is there were total 1100 plus students got placed. So it would be a great honor to you, sir, to have with us all the time. And my question is, sir, how can you motivate student in this crisis?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, see, as I told you, the number one is that first of all, I should say I should give you congratulations rather instead of me. I am the just facilitating person. Who were the principals who are doing well for the society coming ahead, and in my contact, if they are coming, I always make a positive loop with all my network persons. And I keep forward looking towards you that with Capgemini also, we have nice response. Now, because of COVID, we are somewhere stuck up, but definitely after this phase, we'll take it ahead. And I'm very positive about the students. Students should, anyway, I'll be talking a whole lot on students as such, because I told you, in this period, definitely there are two issues of exams. I'll be talking later on exams, so I'll tell you that time. But the skilling, yes, skilling themselves is a continuous process. They should log in to all this, whichever things of data analytics, what I told just now, the courses, they will definitely help the students as far as I told you, to come out of this VUCA world. Thank you, Faisal.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, principals also, thank you so much to many architecture, MBA, as well as engineering, diploma principals. To represent them, we also have with us Professor Dr. Ullas Shinde, sir, who was former Dean of Engineering Faculty for Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, and he is also the principal of Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj College of Engineering, Aurangabad. Over to you, Dr. Ullas Shinde, sir. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. First, thanks to Dr. Abhay Wagh, sir, for his continuous support for arranging the different school campus like Capgemini and all these things. Sir, my question is, what are the expectations of DT from stakeholders in this ecosystem, like college, universities, faculties and TPO and students, sir? What are your expectations?
Oh, it's really a good question, I can say, Ulaji. See, there are, as I told you, can we have a resilient model, as I explained? If we can do such an ecosystem, I'll be the happiest person in Maharashtra. As a DT, I'll be the happiest person. So for that, I just explained you that can we develop a resilient model, but first step of that I explained to you, e-content. So can we start? Let us, this forum today, how many persons, I don't know, must be 700-800 people have joined us today, I suppose. Then if we all can think today also that let us come with the first step, as I explained, 4 steps, e-content, e-delivery, e-examinations and e-evaluation. So can we start with the first step at least of e-content? If we can do this, then really I'll say that we have achieved a lot as far as resilient model is concerned. We ourselves will come up and will forward. What we can do is that we can make a team of the best teachers of that subject. Let us say one subject as a let us say 15 topics as such. Then why can't we select the 15 best teachers from Maharashtra of that subject? Let us say subject is power electronics. Why can't have 15 teachers, so best teachers will create a pool of those teachers, and each person is given each topic, so that within 2 days he can make his or her nice e-content, and like that we can complete all the subjects in a single span of month, I can say. And this coming month, May and June are in our hands. So by June end, we can have really a wonderful e-content developed. So I'm sure that, and I'm happy that we will make a one team wherein all even the AICT chairman will call, and the personalities from IIT will call, and we'll select the best content out of that. And I'm sure that all this content I'll put on the website of DT, so that every student, wherever and anytime, wherever he wants, he can pick up those content and he can listen to that and he can take help of that. Maybe audio, maybe video. I'll be happy if you make the video content as in the form of lectures as such. Maybe one lecture of 45 minutes or 50 minutes, whatever you say. Like that, we can create one subject of 40 lectures or so. I mean to say, this is the first step of resilient model, no doubt. But coming to a very, I mean, immediately at this stage, if the Ullas Shinde was asking me the question that what a model I'm proposing is a very different model. This is, I thought yesterday night that I'm sharing with you first, that can we have a lead model in the Maharashtra? What I mean is that lead means that learning to your doorstep. This is my acronym I made for a learning to your doorstep. What is that model? So before coming to a resilient model, because resilient model, as I discussed, will take some time because we don't have those capacity building. As I discussed, we don't have those connectivity to the corner of the Maharashtra. We don't have, every student don't have the smartphone even today. So unless and until we have our capacity building, unless and until we develop our e-contents and all, can we integrate the 4 components? That 4 components, if we integrate today, I'm sure my lead model will be very popular model. It may be popular, it will be popular in all states of India. What I'm proposing is that we can have a print like in 80s and 90s. See, when we did all engineering, we were ready with a really good form of notes which were printed. That is the one form I can say. Second form of mobiles, maybe a mobile, what we have with the getting SMSs and all alerts and some WhatsApp and all. Third, maybe a digital way, all digital platforms what we have. Whatever you are using, Zoom, WebEx, whatever you are using, those digital platforms. And the 4th important parameter I mean to say is the TV, that is mass media, TV and radio. If we really can allot some time to TV, let us say 3 hours in the evening because TV mass, it is connected to the masses already. We have a nice infrastructure and connectivity of the TV to the last corner of the society. So if I propose this integrated model of my 4 components together, I'm very sure this will be a lead model. What I nomenclated it as will be a popular model. And that is what I'm expecting you all is that, first of all, let us start working with this first step of resilient model, that is come ahead, form the groups of faculty. You can take me a member on that group if you are making some group. And we will go ahead, we'll monitor that within a month or so. We can create at least some subjects, the best content will be available with us, and those will be putting up with the different websites which are available of Government of Maharashtra. Thanks, Ullas.
Thank you so much, sir. We also have one more principal with us, Professor Dr. Pradeep Mane, sir, who is principal of AISSMS. Dr. Pradeep Mane, sir, please. Do we have Dr. Mane, sir? Is there? I think his connection is not proper. Sir, I would like to ask you, what are the future plans of DT? What exactly DT wants to do? And what will be the futuristic plans, and how you will come up with different solutions for making the students really employable?
Yeah. See, as you, I think, initially gave your opening remarks, that I worked a lot when I was director MSBT, because that was the board which was autonomous board, and we could work there a lot because it had autonomy there. And there we forced the model. Initially, it was, I mean, Maharashtra was the pioneer of, as I said, internships. I'm happy that today that model is so perfect, I mean, in a perfect shape that today 68,000, I mean, last May, 68,000 students, they went to a different industries, right from MSMEs to large scale industries in the whole state of Maharashtra. So I'm really happy with that model there. I have already worked. Why can't we have that whole model, same hub and spoke model here in engineering colleges? That is my stake. So I need a concrete support from you all TPOs, especially, and principals. I want to take this polytechnic model, what we developed in polytechnic as far as internships. Why can't it be in a better shape and in a better prospect with the engineering colleges. So we'll work definitely with you all. I'll take the help of yours. That is my really a best future plan, I can say. The COVID has suggested me a different plan yesterday when I was thinking on all these issues. Because of COVID, as I said you, some industries are negatively affected. Some industries are positively affected. I mean, there will be a chance of working on opportunities will be good. Therein, I found that because as the job market is losing the jobs, there are no jobs for the students. It may happen such way. Then we can propose a forceful model of entrepreneurship. So when I say entrepreneurship, I mean to say it should be a model wherein a student is working with some project, with his idea. Let us capture his idea, take this idea ahead. That idea has to be patentized initially, immediately. Patentize the idea, inculcate that idea, incubate that idea, commercialize that idea, and let us convert that whole idea into startup. So if we can do this sequentially, I think we can really see this opportunity to coming more startups because of this COVID, because of the forcibly internships and entrepreneurships what we are looking into. Secondly, what I mean to say, not only, I mean, see, entrepreneurship is not only a case wherein we'll say and it will happen. This is my idea. This is my future plan. I'll be taking this as an opportunity. But for that, candidates, I mean, students, handholding is very essential. You all have to make one team with me. And definitely we will have to work for handholding of the student. His idea has to be taken ahead. Let us patentize, then incubate it in an incubation center, whichever available in nearby. I will give you the whole facilitation nearby, and then take it ahead for commercialization so that the ready product will come out, and that will be a real startup coming out of this COVID situation. And for that, again, if you need some help of angel investors, yes, we can have a pool of angel investors that we can show it to the students for the handholding of them, for their equity and for their venture capital investment, what will be required. Surely we can help in that also. Even the bank loans, different schemes of the government, wherein the taxation benefits are there. The whole setup of government wherein startup has been helped will make open to the students. And can we develop really this post entrepreneurship? I'll be really happy to have this particular plan in DT in next some days. And for you all TPOs, I have a third, because there are so many brighter ideas with me, but these are 2-3 ideas which COVID has really sensitized me a lot. And the third idea is for all TPOs. As TPOs are there, I thought a lot, and I have already proposed one model to the government. Honorable Minister Uday Samant sir, my Saurabh Secretary, Honorable Secretary of Higher and Technical Education, Saurabh Vijay sir, is also helping me in this model that we want to have can we have a flip TPO model for TPO? So it's a very different model. I'll just, because I think today is not much of the time is available, but I'll just share 2 lines with the flip TPO. All TPOs are here, so I should share it. I mean, TPO model is this, that see, one is one left hand side of that, you all are TPOs are there, and then right hand side of that will be the industries where they're there. So I will make a total digital platform of both of them. Initially, I'm trying this for the government polytechnics. We are trying initially. And I agree, the government polytechnic model, I have made RFP also, which is ready with me. Initially, a pilot model will be trying on government polytechnics, wherein our TPOs and some industries will be linked. The idea is that one side of the TPO's profiles will be ready. The profiles will be readily come on a screen with his whatever the skill sets he has or she has, whatever the proficiency he or she is better, that will pop up readily on his profile or her profile, and the industry will be ready to pick up that profile. Let us say Mahindra and Mahindra is there, and they want a student of a German language student with a first class. So it is very easy to me to marry the person. You mean to say that way, that left hand side and right hand side, I can best choose. I can choose a best pair out of that, and it will be a ready digital platform available for the TPOs as such in the state, which will really help to the students by and large for their employability, because employability will be the biggest issue here onward. So I mean to say, this flip TPO model I have proposed already to a government for as a pilot model. If it is successful, definitely I'll give a nice presentation on this, detailed presentation, technical and commercial presentation to you all, so that you can also help to your students in your institution. And that model I have named it as a flip TPO. Thank you. So these are,
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, these are two,
Yeah.
three initiatives only I can share it. There are certain more ideas also. One of some university persons you said me, I think university representative, a beautiful
Right,
model.
sir.
I spoke to the Vice Chancellor day before when Honorable Minister took the meeting of Honorable Vice Chancellor. Can't we have, let us say Mumbai, Pune are the commercial and metro regions. We have what we call it as cities wherein industries are more. Why can't whole year of the students of my, let us say Gondia College student, a whole batch of the students, 30 students, they can come to here and they will complete their credits, and those credits will be transferred to Gadchiroli district. Like that, all those possibilities are also very essential as on today, so that can really make out what we are saying, that the urban and rural divide that has to be stopped somewhere. And these are some ideas wherein I'll be happy to work. As you ask me, what are the future plans? So these are 3-4 plans which I am already working on it. I shared with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Actually, as you rightly pointed out, entrepreneurship can be really a good solution for this particular country to develop in a faster way, we can say. As
because I always say that आपण मराठीत स्वच्छ मराठीत म्हटलं तर असं म्हणतो, मी तरी त्याला फार महत्व देतो की माणसाला म्हणजे स्वतःचं पोट तर कोणी भरतं आजकाल. म्हणजे प्रत्येक एक साधा सोसायटीचा कुठलाही घटक असेल तर स्वतःचं पोट तर कोणी भरतो. म्हणजे मी सुद्धा आज सॅलरी करतो म्हणजे माझं पोट भरतो. पण मला नेहमी म्हणजे मला अशा व्यक्तींबद्दल नेहमी आदर राहिलेला आहे समाजामध्ये की जो स्वतःच्या पगाराबद्दल त्याच्याबरोबर आणखी 4 लोकांचं जरी त्याने पोट भरलं, त्याला मी एंटरप्रिनर म्हणतो, आणि त्याला माझ्या दृष्टीने फार जास्त महत्व मी माझ्या आयुष्यात देत आलेलो. त्यामुळे आय एम ऑलवेज फॅसिनेटेड टुवर्ड्स दिस ऑल एंटरप्रिनर, and I'm really working on this after post-COVID in the foreseeable entrepreneur model, what I said to you. Thank you.
True, sir. Rightly said. I think the mentality of our society has to be changed, specifically of Marathi-speaking community, we can say, because most of our parents, they also want that their wards should not opt for some risky business or something like that. So we have to, I think, counsel the parents also, because it is said by someone, more risk, more money, no risk, no money. One of the top university of the world, Stanford University, one survey was conducted there, and all the students were asked, why did you choose Stanford? So they say that almost around 60% of them, they said that I want to start my new business, but that too as a techno entrepreneurship. They want to develop some technical project, some technical product, and they really want to start their own entities. And that's why I think this is right time for us, because most of the people, because of these new norms of USA, Mr. Trump, I think, is really coming up with new norms restricting other people to enter USA. And I think some lakhs of people, which we call it as brain drain, they have gone there. Now reverse brain drain may start, and these people can also help us in because they might have earned a lot of money there, and now we can help them through our ecosystem to start their own businesses, and at the same time, same culture we can start in our own colleges. So that's really good thought, sir. And we all, on behalf of our all principals as well as TPOs, we assure you that we will definitely try for this. Sir, in the current situation, importance of pharmacy is also there. So along with engineering MBA principals, we do have one of the principal from pharmacy, Dr. Neeraj Vyavare, sir. Sir, are you there, Dr. Neeraj
Yes.
Vevare?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I
Am I
request,
audible?
please, sir, please. Yeah,
Yes.
you are audible, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you once, Abhay Wak, sir, for giving a nice interactive session. And this has once again proved that the COVID cannot stop you, sir, from interacting with the people and guiding the people. Thank you for that. You have explained everything about VUCA and these kind of things, and we are very much aware. I have two questions with respect to these things. Being a pharmacy or healthcare team member, we have to see the healthcare ecosystem, what we are working on that. At the same time, being principal, the financial ecosystem has to be also seen. With respect to that, even though this is the period of uncertainty, but sir, we know that you must have some plan. So related to that, when will be the entrance, whether entrance exam will be there, and probably when it will be there. At the same time, will be is there any change in the admission process? That is the first part. And second part, those who have applied the new courses, so their scrutiny has been completed or expert committee visit has completed. What is the process lineup for them, so that the next year financial planning will be easy for all of us?
Oh, it's a very, very relevant question, Vivariji, and this is really, I mean, all stakeholders may be eager to hear this all. See, let me tell you one thing very clearly that because in media and all, there are so many miscommunications and so many rumors are coming out. Let me tell you very clearly, very, very clearly that you also insist in the society there should not be rumors on that. See, what has happened, I'll tell you openly. Honorable Minister Uday Samanji has made one committee to discuss all these issues. What is the academic calendar of summer, which has to be completed that time, but it has completed no doubt today. But that was one of the issue in that, the academic calendar. Secondly, the vacations. Thirdly, the issue of all these examinations of the all different universities. 13 universities are there in the state of Maharashtra. Of course, with all CETs also are there in the has to be there in higher education and the technical education platform. So Honorable Minister has formulated one committee wherein 4 VCs were there. Pune VC, then Mumbai VC, then your SNDT VC, and Kolhapur VC, and myself was there, one of the member, and my colleague, higher director, Mr. Mane, was a member. So we 6-person committee was constituted by Honorable Minister and Honorable Secretary. We worked. We have spoken already to every university vice chancellor. Even Honorable Minister had 2 VCs. I mean, video conferences with them, with all the VCs. Long conferences we had, and we came to know what are their statutes, how they work, in which fashion they are working. And now we have got their information also, how much curricula or syllabus they have completed in this span of time, and also. So this is all ready with us. Now we all are waiting for the UGC recommendation. UGC framework has to become. You all must be knowing that UGC has also formulated 2 committees. Those 2 committees have given report to the UGC. Now UGC, in consultation definitely with their parent body of HRD Ministry, they will be coming up with some guidelines. And after those guidelines only, this Maharashtra committee will give some report to Honorable Government of Maharashtra, and then Government of Maharashtra will officially declare that what is the format of this exams which will be taking within month or so. So this is all the calendar, the time span, everything the way we defining or will be putting in front of you after that UGC guidelines only. This is number 1. Secondly, you asked me a right question about that most of the institution must have applied for the AICT proposals, PCI proposals. No doubt PCI I think have cleared up some proposals which were earlier in a pipeline.
Yes.
This year, so they are not giving. Yeah. But I spoke to Sahasrabudhe sir also. I wrote a letter to him, and he immediately replied also saying that, because there was one, you must be knowing, I think some of you as a principals, they must be knowing there was 26086 writ petition was there earlier filed with Supreme Court to 2012, and that has given a typical calendar to whole India as such to the AICT, and the state governments are generally the respondents to them, so they have to follow that calendar. It is what today, as on today, what it shows, and that calendar and that whole SLP now that calendar is that they used to say for CETs that in the month of May you should conduct CET,
Yes.
5th of June you should declare the result, 10th of July you should have 1st of July, 1st of June you should complete your first round, 10th of July you should complete your second round, and so on. And the 14th August was the cutoff date. So this was the whole calendar. Yeah, this was the whole calendar discussed in that judgment of 26086, what I said, of 2012. It was the SLP in Supreme Court. But now, as I wrote all this calendar with these all CET dates, with your approvals, of course, because it is linked to the approvals. Unless an approval and EOs are coming, we can't start our admission process also of next year. So the AICT has immediately given me the answer in writing, saying that definitely that they have also filed one SLP on that issue, and that SLP is not in position to take hearing, because you all know the COVID situation may be there also in Delhi also. So most probably, we are expecting that it will come soon for hearing, and we can hear better out of that, what can be the solution out of that. Meanwhile, we have spoken to Chhatra Budde sir also. Yes, we should have some, and of course, a time frame is the constraint that we should extend that. But this time, with certain conditions, can we give them those approvals? That also can be thought at your level. That has also been communicated to them. So don't worry. On the stakeholders, we are taking care, and on your behalf, I am speaking to them, and we hope something positive out of that. So I think it is very clear to you, both the issues I have explained regarding CETs and regarding exams.
For pharmacy, shall we presume that the AIC, instead of AICT, only PCI and DTV will work out?
Yeah. Surely. Because that is already an order came up, so we'll go, both PCI and DTV will work out on that.
Yes, because
we'll
decision had come after submission to
I know that.
EOA.
I know that. I know that. I got that copy, and I have already forwarded to government. We'll take a call from Honorable Minister on that, and surely we'll go ahead positively. Don't worry about that.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you.
मला मराठीत सगळ्यांना स्वच्छ अगदी व्यवस्थित सांगायची आहे की या बातम्यांबद्दल जे काही आहे ते बाहेर फार मिसकम्युनिकेशन आहे. कृपया सगळ्यांना सांगा, कुठेही असं काहीही डिसिजन अजून घेतलेलं नाही महाराष्ट्र राज्याने. परीक्षा कधी होणार आहे, ऑफलाईन होणार आहे, ऑनलाईन होणार आहे, फलाना आहे, ढिमका, असं काहीही कुठेही काही बोलू नका, कारण अजून कुठलाही डिसिजन ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर साहेबांनी अजून घेतलेला नाही. आणि ज्या दिवशी आम्ही तो डिसिजन घेऊ, तो इमिजिएटली सगळ्या आमच्या इव्हन डीटीईच्या वेबसाईट वरून आणि सगळ्या ऑफिशियल वेबसाईट वरून मी तुम्हाला कम्युनिकेट करेल. याच्याबद्दल तुम्ही निश्चिंत राहा. इव्हन स्टुडंट्सला कॉन्फिडन्स द्या, त्यांनाही सांगा की कुठल्याही अफवांना बळी पडू नका आणि तुमच्या अभ्यासाचा तुम्ही हे करू नका, तुमचा अभ्यास कंटिन्युअसली करत राहा. थँक्यू.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wag sir, and thank you, Vyavare sir. Vyavare sir, we in our Maharashtra Association of TPOs, we have TPOs from pharmacy also, as well as diploma, MBA, BSc, BCS. So we would like to form, under the guidance of Wag sir, we would like to form committees of different regions for these courses also. We do have very strong committee as far as engineering is concerned. We do have university-wise, region-wise. In entire Maharashtra, we have almost 7 to 8 regions, and in all these regions, vice presidents are there, other members are there, governing council members are there, and for each university, one university representative is there. That TPO under him, also there are 7 to 8 people. So university-wise, we have this existing structure So we would like to take it ahead also. And sir, Waq sir, we would like to tell you all these TPOs, we are eager to give our bit for the society, and we are there to help the student community and the colleges to take the students employability level to the next level. So we are trying our level best. We have with us Professor Sudarshan Sutar sir, who is Public Relation Officer of Maharashtra TPO Association. He is from DY Patil Kolhapur. I would like to ask Sudarshan sir, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir, please.
आताच तुम्ही TPO मॉडेल बद्दल एक मॅरेजचं एक्झाम्पल दिलंय.
Oh.
In spite of your busy schedule and fear of corona, how do you remain stress-free?
See, if really I want to answer your question in one line, I'll definitely say my tagline of working is very simple. I work in the motto of you give to the world the best you have and the best will come back to you. This is my status also, if you have seen. Yeah, really I'm walking in this spirit only. See, it's very clear. If you think good about others, everything will be good for you. Always try to good for others. Give the best what you can. Best will come back to you also initially. And every time you will get best and best and best. And that is what I am experiencing every day. Every day. And that is the main reason I don't have any stress at all. Because म्हणजे खरं तर हे उत्तर असं द्यायला हवं मराठीमध्ये द्यायचं असेल तर की आपण आपली जी विचारांची जी एक शक्ती असते आणि एक मनाची जी शक्ती असते, मनशक्ती आपण ज्याला म्हणतो, तर त्यातला तुम्ही जर चांगला विचार केला तर तुम्हाला चांगलंच मिळत जातं, कधी स्ट्रेस येणारच नाही आणि मग प्रचंड काम करण्याची क्षमता मिळते. त्याच्यासाठी पॉझिटिव्ह विचार करायचा. जर पॉझिटिव्ह विचार केला आणि लोकांबद्दलचं आपण जर चांगलंच मत, याचं चांगलं व्हावं असा विचार केला तर नक्कीच त्याच्याबद्दल कुठेही स्ट्रेस आपल्या मनात राहत नाही. छान रात्री झोप लागते, कुठलाही स्ट्रेस येत नाही. आणि दुसरी गोष्ट याच्यावर पाळायची म्हणजे पहिलं तर तुमचं आचरण असलं पाहिजे की कोणाबद्दल वाईट विचार कधीही करायचा नाही. नेव्हर थिंक नेगेटिव्ह अबाउट ऑल. नेव्हर 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 इन द लाईफ. I saw only me myself what I can do for that. That is only I generally do it. And secondly that तुम्ही जर छान सकाळी एक थोडा वेळ मेडिटेशन करू शकले तर तुम्ही करा, योगाभ्यास करू शकला तर करा. आणि इव्हनिंग इट इज व्हेरी कंपल्सरी. आय डू इट इन इव्हनिंग, लेट नाईट. आय मीन टू से यू कॅन डू इन मॉर्निंग. इट इज व्हेरी, आय मीन इट बेस्ट देन इफ यू आर डुईंग इन मॉर्निंग. बट at least 6 to 7 kilometers means, I mean to say 8 to 10,000 steps you should walk with a brisk walk. So if you do this no any another exercise is needed. You will be totally stress free. आपलं माइंड चांगलं ठेवूया, आपण हेल्दी राहूया आणि चांगला विचार करूया. गिव्ह टू द वर्ल्ड द बेस्ट यू हॅव, द बेस्ट विल कम बॅक टू यू. आय एम शुअर ऑन इट.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. Sudarshan sir, thank you so much, sir. Even though time is less, a couple of I can see in the chat room, more questions are there. Ritu Deshmukh is there. She is asking, I wish to know the timeline of admissions and will DT be handholding the institutions this year for admissions, as it is very crucial year for all.
See, I told you earlier also that the total timeline, we will have enough time. You don't worry about that. CET, you know, there is a CET commissionerate, correct? So CET commissioner is the official competent officer. Yeah, is a competent officer to conduct the CETs. But definitely hand holding from your side is required. I will talk to them on your behalf. We'll see that the admissions in Maharashtra state will be really smooth. Don't worry on that.
Thank you, sir. Because last year I had some experience. That's why I was.
No worries. We'll definitely handhold you.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, one more question I'll take. Car export, someone is there. He's asking question up in the room. It was regarding internship. So internships, you have really good model for diploma. Similar model we can come up here in case of engineering or pharmacy or MBA, as well as can we have clusters of as well as nearby industries, so we can club together these people, colleges, and we can help of NASCOM, CII, FICCI, FCCI, MIDC. So can through government officials, we can come up together and do such model. Come up
So
with
today,
such models, sir.
yeah, surely, why not? I told you today, rather all TPOs and principals are there. Rather today, I'll give you the assignment. I'm there with you for this assignment. I'm also, you can say, I'm in your team. You can take this way. That we have implemented
So nice
one
of you, sir.
model in Polytechnic. Yeah, one model in Polytechnic. That is hub and spoke model. In every region, let us say Pune is there. We have taken their Tata Motors as a hub industry. Around small industries to that, there are 10 industries we have taken, which are small industries. And in a spoke side, that is working as a hub. And the spoke side, we have 15 or to 20 institutions, which are polytechnics, which are clubbed to that particular industry. What is their job? Just to work as a hub and spoke. I mean to say that just have an industry exchange in any way, student exchange, their faculty exchange. You can say the enrollment side, you can say the training side. If you need a faculty has to be trained, you can send it there. If their faculty is coming to your institution, tell them and ask them to take some lectures or some videos of theirs can be shared. Then visits, industrial visits is common there. And I mean to say any joint research projects, it can happen. Then of course, all these interaction with these industries will give you the employability. In terms, initially, it will give you the entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship will be also a component in that, as well as I can say the internships can be developed with those industries. So this model is very popular, hub and spoke model in Polytechnic. We can adopt that model in industries, in engineering colleges. But I expect that what we all should do is that you make some teams region-wise. Identify the industries. I will give you the best contacts of my industries because I know all the top authorities of bigger industries also. I'll speak for you. No problem. And we will have a single pool created from your all regions for all the institutions around you, which can work as a spoke. So you can take this hub and spoke model ahead in a region. Okay. You can make the groups, you can make the good teams around you. And definitely I'll handhold them.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. One last question. I know you have to attend one more meeting. Yeah. Last question I'll take from the chat. Mr. Rajnikant Palve, because he is from Diploma, very few people there. So his question is, what about Diploma summer internship, which is to be happening in summer 2020?
That is the right question he asked, because already last time 68,000 students were there, I told you, and this time it could not happen because of COVID. No doubt we'll find some solution to that. Can we have some project in terms of that? Can we have some oral discussion with that student? Can we have some written or some another methodology? We'll work on that. Don't worry about that project. But here onwards, I'm again coming to my resilience model. Here onwards, if suppose again this happens, then what should our education system can be developed this ecosystem as a resilient model? Once again, I'm coming to that because that is the answer of every question. So don't worry about these all diploma students, what they will be having this time. But I'm saying that for all in all, whole system as such, we should have a very, a ecosystem to be developed. We should have a resilient model in Maharashtra. And I'm really looking forward towards that. If you all can support me in this whole assignment, definitely we can make it.